channel. In this video, I will be talking about some awful mistakes that you are very likely to make on your next TOEFL exam. Number one, on the speaking section. So the speaking section, you see, is all about talking confidently in English, and it's not at all about answering the questions correctly. Like if you're asked to tell your opinion about whether or not long sweaters are in fashion, nobody is going to judge you if you answer correctly that the sweaters are in fashion or the sweaters are not in fashion. They're only going to test you if you have the courage, if you have the confidence to give your opinion or give your answer proper, like in a proper way or in proper English, without stammering or without stuttering. The biggest mistake people are most likely to make on the speaking section is that they stammer. So let's say I'm answering a question, maybe the same question that I just presented you an example with, like give your opinion if long sweaters are still in fashion or not. In my view, my answer would look something like this. In my view, I think long sweaters is still in fashion. Maybe because they look very nice, and this kind of behavior is going to ruin your score on the speaking section of the TOEFL exam. So even if you are finishing everything in given time frame, if you're saying everything in the given time frame, and even let's say if you're answering everything properly and in proper English, you're not making any mistake, but if you stammer or if you stutter, they are going to think that you don't have the confidence to speak proper English, and that's going to hurt your score. So yes, never ever stammer on the speaking section of your TOEFL exam. And how can you prevent that? By practicing. So if you keep practicing the speaking section, like keep asking yourself questions and stuff like that, a time will come when you are not going to stammer anymore. This happened to me as well, and in the beginning when you're getting into the habit of speaking English like you're supposed to in the speaking section of the TOEFL exam, it's hard and you are bound to stammer. Even though you know how to answer, even though you know the proper English, you will stammer because that's how humans work. But if you keep doing that on a regular basis, a time will come when there will be no stammering. The second point would be on the reading section of the TOEFL exam. So I have a couple of videos made on different sections of the TOEFL exam that will be linked somewhere over here down in the description below. But if you're new here to my channel, reading the entire passage is something that you should not be doing on the reading section of your TOEFL exam, because that's going to take your time, and no matter how much attention you're paying to the entire passage or the entire reading, you are not going to remember everything, and by the time they start throwing questions at you, you will have to go back and read the whole thing again. So there's no point, absolutely no point reading the entire passage. Go ahead, read the first line of each paragraph and the last line of the last paragraph, and you will be having a pretty much rough idea of what exactly the topic is all about, or what exactly is going on in the reading. And then when they throw questions at you, what happens in the reading section, I've explained this in other videos as well, and I'll say it again, that they tell you the number of the passage that the question is being asked from. So let's say they ask you a question, they will let you know the number of passage that the answer is in. So whatever question they ask you, it will say in paragraph 1, what does this word mean? So you will go to that paragraph, find that word, read the line that comes before that word, and you will have a pretty much rough idea of what exactly they're trying to ask and what exactly you should be answering. But reading the whole thing is not going to help you. And this is one of the things that people tend to do, and that hurt their score really bad. Another mistake that is most likely to happen on the TOEFL is in the listening section. So what happens is they throw a number of listings at you. And what kind of listings are these? These are usually lectures that are given by professors in an academic setting, or these are conversations between two students. So in the questions that are presented with the conversation, what happens is there are usually two students. One is talking about change that might be happening in the university or in the campus, and the other person is usually opposing that change. So a mistake that students normally tend to make on this section is that they try to write down every single bit of the conversation. That's not humanly possible. Humanly is not a word, but it's not possible to write down every single word. And then what happens is in the period of writing the entire thing, in the attempt to write the entire thing, they miss out the important information that might have been helpful if they weren't writing the entire thing, if that makes sense. So what you need to do in this section is do not write every single bit of it. It's not important. Nobody's testing you on that. Nobody's going to come and see your notes. All they want to know is if you paid enough attention to listen to the conversation so you can answer the question correctly. So usually the questions are about the negative stuff that the student is presenting in regards to the change that is happening in the campus. I'm giving you an example only, but that's what usually happens. So you only need to write down that stuff that the student is opposing, and that should be good. And nobody is going to come and judge you on your notes or the spelling mistakes that you have made or the grammatical mistakes that you might have. So I'm going to make an entirely different video in which I will be telling about how to make your notes on the TOEFL exam and how your listening notes should look like. But yes, this is one of the things that hurt your score the most. In fact, this did hurt my score too when I recently gave my TOEFL at home edition, and I am going to make another video on that too. So yes, do not waste your time. Absolutely do not waste your time trying to write every single thing. They're not testing you on that. Just write down the important stuff that the student is saying, and you should be good. Last but not the least, the writing section of the TOEFL exam. This is the section I found the easiest. I don't know about you, but yes, the writing section was the easiest for me, and that's because I knew how to write it and I knew the pattern, and you could do the same. So the mistake that I see people making on the writing section of the TOEFL exam is that they are repetitive. They try to juggle down all the words in their writing, and then they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. They might try rephrasing and stuff like that, but that doesn't help. The task over here is not to increase the number count. I mean, it is to increase the number count in a sense, but increasing the number count by just rephrasing what you just said in the last paragraph is not going to help. This is something that's going to hurt your score, because yes, they are going to look at the number count, but that's not the only thing that they're going to look at in the writing section of your TOEFL exam. So do not make this awful mistake of repeating yourself, because they are testing you on how you are structuring the paragraphs, on how you're writing the entire thing, and if you keep repeating it, chances are they are going to deduct your marks. These were a quick few tips on how to avoid certain mistakes that are most likely to happen on your next TOEFL exam. So let me know in the comment section down below if there are any other mistakes that you guys might have made in the past, or you have seen your friends made in the past. And if this video provided you any value, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.